Kids abandoned me for their cheating mom and are divorced because her new husband gave them jobs in a company. They didn't invite me to their weddings and cut contact for 8 years. 8 years ago, I, 56M, found out that my wife, Marie, 52F, had been cheating on me with one of her friends from college. The affair had been going on for almost a year when I finally caught them, and after I found out, I moved out of my house and immediately filed for a divorce. We had already been having a pretty rough time in our marriage because she didn't think that I was bringing home enough money as a high school baseball coach, and even though I was doing my best, she just constantly kept complaining about everything. We would fight very frequently, and in my head, filing for divorce was not a very difficult decision. At the time, our 2 children had moved out already, so I had nothing to stay for either. Unfortunately, that divorce cost me my relationship with my kids as well because, for whatever reason, they decided to side with their mother. Initially, they tried to convince me to go easy on her just because she had been a stay-at-home mom for a really long time, so they tried to tell me that she must have been bored with the monotony of her life, and on top of that, after they had moved out, we had started bickering over every little thing as well. Naturally, she wasn't happy and I was going through a bit of a rough patch financially as well. But I couldn't understand why my kids were trying so hard to get me to forgive Marie, especially considering the fact that I was going through the exact same problems that she was, and yet, I hadn't gone out of my way to cheat on her. In fact, after every fight that we would have, I would try to make it up to her and make her feel special somehow. Obviously, none of that meant anything to her, and I was very upset that my children were trying to get me to give her a second chance. So I ended up fighting with them over this as well, and for a while, they cut me out of their life. After the divorce was finalized, I started feeling really lonely, especially since just 2 months after the divorce, Marie ended up remarrying the guy she had been having an affair with. I was not on speaking terms with my kids at the time, but then, I tried to reach out to them, and they did forgive me. But that was just something that they said for the sake of it. I don't think they really did forgive me at the time because, for the next couple of years, they did not even invite me to any of their milestones. As a matter of fact, I hardly had anything to do with my children up until earlier this year. And the only reason that they are trying to get along with me right now is because I started my own business with a couple of my friends a few years ago, and all of a sudden, it started taking off recently. So I'm doing pretty well for myself, and I'm guessing that that's what they're here for. For context, I had been working for a really long time as a high school sports coach, but unfortunately, I was severely underpaid and overworked. I had a buddy who worked in another school, and the two of us were having a hard time with money, and while trying to come up with some retirement plans, the two of us decided that we were going to speak to a couple of other people and try to start our own facility. That way, we would still be able to coach kids because that's what we were really good at, and we had a lot of experience doing that as well. But we would be able to turn it into a business, and that would be our retirement plan. So we got another friend who was interested and had business acumen on board with us, and we started this. Honestly, we hadn't expected anything big out of it at the time, but we are proud to say that right now, we are doing really well for ourselves, and I'm proud of how far we have come. Our facility is pretty popular, and we are thinking about branching out soon. And I'm guessing that my kids must have heard of it because they reached out to me earlier this year and started trying to get on my good side. Initially, I was really happy that they were trying to involve me more in their lives because I thought that they had finally come to their senses or something. I didn't suspect that they might have had ulterior motives, but a couple of days ago, the two of them came to visit me. My oldest, Gavin, and his sister, Hannah, are both married now. Gavin got married 6 years ago and Hannah got married 4 years back. I was not invited to either wedding, because they told me that their mother would be there along with her husband and it would just get too awkward for everyone. I was very upset about it, but they told me that it can't be helped, the wedding would be too full, and promised to make it up to me at some point, which they never really did. But like a fool, I kept waiting for them to realize someday that I was just as much a parent to them as their mother was. I thought it was finally happening, but then, when they visited me recently and started telling me about how they had heard that my business was doing really well and they wanted me to start spending more time with my grandkids and also help them out with some money, I finally realized what was actually going on. It was really difficult for me not to get mad at them at the time, but I told them that I would definitely consider it, and they seemed happy enough, so they left. But after they were gone, I blocked them everywhere because I was pretty sure that they were trying to use me for my money. Gavin has 2 kids, one of them is 5 years old and the youngest is just a year old. And from what I know, Hannah just gave birth to her daughter 6 months back. And guess what? I have not met any of my grandkids yet. It's been 5 years since my first grandkid was born, and I haven't even met him. Of course it hurts, and I've tried to get Gavin to bring over his kids or try to get them to invite me over so I can meet them, and when Hannah's daughter was born, I tried to meet her as well, but they always just declined. It was always the same excuse, that Marie and her husband would be there and didn't want things to get awkward. I would always have to understand and let it go, and it hurt. And now they finally want to give me a chance to play grandpa, and I'm guessing it's all because things are not going well for them financially. I had no idea about any of this earlier, which is why I hadn't cut them out of my life entirely, just putting this out there. Anyway, I am not really in touch with most of the extended family and I'm not one for family gossip. But after my kids visited me after so many years and started trying to be nice to me and stuff, I could guess that something was very weird about the situation. So after they left, I blocked them, and just to satisfy my own curiosity, I decided to do some asking around about what my kids were up to. And that is how I managed to find out that they were having a really rough patch financially for the past couple of years, and on top of that, things were not exactly sunshine and rainbows with their stepdad anymore. I found that really shocking because from whatever photos they had been posting after their mother got remarried, it seemed as if the family was very close to the guy. But apparently, things are going sour because he's planning on selling his company. They deal in furniture, and after Marie married him, my kids started working in his company. And I don't want to say it because I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that that's why they were so eager to take their mom's side in the divorce. Because they believed that if they got me to go easy on their mother instead of dragging out the divorce, it would guarantee them a spot in their stepdad's company. Basically, they had been brought out by Marie's affair partner, and I never found out about it because I had never even suspected something like that happening. Anyway, the problem right now is that the company hasn't been doing too well in the past couple of years and Marie's husband wants to sell it, but my kids want him to retain the business. He's the owner of the company, so he stands to benefit the most from the deal, and he's lucky enough to have even found a buyer right now. But my kids don't approve of the deal because even though they'll get a portion of the proceeds as shareholders and upper management employees, they're still obviously going to be losing their jobs and they want a long-term plan for themselves. It's a whole thing, and a lot of people from the family know about it because Marie is a bit of a big mouth and she has been venting about this to literally everyone who will listen. So it's no big secret that their family is fighting right now, and I'm guessing that's why Gavin and Hannah decided to come to me for help. It's no big secret that we are doing well, we are running ads and stuff, and the whole word of mouth thing is also going pretty well for us. So after putting all of this together by speaking to a bunch of my relatives, I decided that I was going to keep my kids blocked, and I had no interest in their lives.